Superbelle Sews. My name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today. It is my second Friday Sews of the year. It is Friday the 13th of January. Unlucky for some, but hopefully not for any of you. I've had it's sort of been my first full week back at work this week, so it's been busy, but I have managed to get some sewing done. And I think it's been like a good week for a lot of companies announcing new projects, new patterns, things like that. So there's plenty to talk about. So first up, you might notice I'm wearing, finally, a finished jumper in this sweatshirt fabric from by Graziella, which I purchased at the Knitting and Stitching show in October. I will just stand up so you can see the actual sweatshirt. So here, sorry, you can't get my head and the sweatshirt. So here it is. It's the Billy pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. I lengthened the straight sleeves. They are 3/4 length, the straight sleeves in the pattern, and the balloon sleeves are full length. So I lengthened the straight sleeves. I've made a few Billies, but I've never made the jumper version. I've always made the dress. So apart from when I did the shoot for Tilly and the Buttons for this pattern, they had a dress and a short version, so I've tried that version on, but this is the first time I've made the short version myself. It's a really quick, easy, straightforward sew. It came together really, really quickly, and yeah, this fabric is lush. I also finished today the Hudson pants, which are a pattern by True Bias, to make this into a loungewear set. Now, to be honest, as soon as I put it on, I was like, these are effectively snuggly pajamas, but we're going to lean into it. So I think I could wear them probably separately out of the house, but I think if I wore them together, it would look like pajamas. So I thought I'd give you a closer look, because I didn't really give you a close look at my other Hudson pants. Here they are. Yeah, so you can see, I'll show you some of the nice details that these have. I'd seen a lot of people raving about this pattern on Instagram, lots of people who'd made it loads of times. And I'm a bit iffy about trouser patterns. I think I've said before, even though these are obviously stretchy, I find that when you get into the plus size or extended size bracket, obviously like the way you carry your weight changes. So I often find that there's not enough rise in the trouser patterns if they've not been well graded. But these I'm really pleased with. This is my second pair, and I could just make endless pairs. Again, they're a very quick sew. They've got some cute features. They're really, really comfy. So let me show you. So the basic cut is sort of just like a straight leg cut. On the bottom, you have, sorry, as always, excuse the dog hair. It gets everywhere, and the cuffs are black, so you can really see Nala's hair, but we have cuffs at the ankles, and whatever that is, a bit of fluff. Cuffs at the ankles, which match the cuffs at the armband, and the pockets. Now, the way the pockets come together, I don't know what it is about it, but the construction is really satisfying. And you end up, I'll show you here, with this detail here in a contrast. So in my Christmas pajamas, I did it in red, so the fabric was like navy with dogs on it with little Christmas hats, and then yeah, I did red accents. So yeah, this is those. And then the waistband is so it's elastic all the way around. You use a really thick elastic, so literally like the whole width of the waistband there is elastic pretty much, and then you stitch it with like I use a lightning stitch. You stitch it, which obviously keeps it in place, and I think actually gives it a nicer look as well, as opposed to when you have just your average waistband where there's no stitching here, and it's all, I always feel it looks a little bit I don't know, just unfinished. Whereas with this pattern, you stitch along the top and along the bottom here. You have little buttonholes that you make at the front, 2 buttonholes, and then this is just tied. I mean, you can probably see when I showed you there, this is like a mock tie, just for the look, but I think the look is super cute. I love it. See, I don't need to even wear the whole thing. You get the vibe here. So that is my new little set that I've just finished. It's my first time sewing with by Graziella Fabrics, and I actually really enjoyed it. They have a sale on at the moment, and this fabric is in the sale. They also have it in another colourway, which, off the top of my head, I think it was like pink and a sort of it was like a yellowy colour hearts, but which is nice as well, and that is also in the sale. Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, they only do stretch fabrics, so sweatshirting, French terry, jersey. I might have seen like a soft shell, which is obviously not stretch. But it's always like fun prints, fun colours. And yeah, I really enjoyed that make. It's a little bit pricier, but again, I think if you have something specific in mind, it's you're gonna get something quality from them, is what I'd say. So that's my sewing for the week. I've only had time for that really, and now I'm starting to think about, so I've got my collaboration with Adele to get on with, that's cut out. I've got a Minerva project to do. I've got my Little Miss So-and-so thing coming. I'm working on cutting out a Callie shirt, which is a closet core pattern in the, I can show you the fabric actually. This, I think I've showed it to you before, this sort of zodiac viscose, which has the little gold flecks in it and all the signs of the zodiac. I bought this at the Stitch Festival last year. From Selvage and Bolts, that was, by the way, at the Stitch Festival. So yeah, speaking of the Stitch Festival, I'm definitely going to go this year. I just find going to these festivals like a couple of times a year, it's just a fun day out. You get to meet some people who otherwise I might not meet in real life. I think the exhibitors look really good this year. I feel like last year it was still a little bit like nervy about COVID. So I think from what I've gathered, I did go last year, but a lot of the regulars who would have been there didn't go. So this year you have all the people who were there last year, which was great selection, and then a lot of other people as well. So I will definitely be going. I'm not sure what day, maybe the Sunday, but let me know if you're planning on going. Maybe I'll see you there. So yeah, so that's all I have to show you today. But then there are a few other things to talk about. So first up, one of the things I want to have a go at this year, which I've seen a lot of other people saying they want to try as well, is sewing underwear. I mean, bras specifically, because I think knickers are easier. Although I've not tried, so maybe that's an incorrect assumption, I don't know. So earlier in the year, I've been sort of buying bits and bobs. I bought I cannot remember what the name of the pattern is. I think it might be the Willowdale. I think, which is a cashmerette pattern. Because for a bra, because I think I trust cashmerette with sizing and with dealing with large cup sizes and things like that. But the thing that's put me off is there are so many different little bits, like notions you have to get, and it's things like, so some of them are not too complicated, but then there are things like the underwire, you have to get it in the right size. It's all just a bit intimidating, I found. So I've sort of bought bits and bobs over the past year. I bought some lace from a D-Stash account, which I have sort of sitting. I think there's some power mesh in there as well. But yeah, I've basically just been too worried. I don't want to spend money on things that I then can't use. But New Craft House yesterday released some new underwear patterns and kits to go with them. Now, from what I gather, these are dead stock. So there is an underwear brand who are no longer trading, and they have sold the patterns they use to make their underwear, and they've also sold them whatever they had left in terms of fabrics and notions and things like that. So basically, this is taking a bra that previously you could have bought, and now you can buy all of the elements and make it yourself. It has, I think, good band sizes. Off the top of my head, it goes up to a 42 band and up to a J or a double J cup. The bras are not wired. And there are two different designs. So there's one that's like a deeper V, and then there's one that's a bit more of a full coverage. And then in the kits, you can get the jersey one, or you can get one that's power mesh. And then there are also 3 knicker patterns or pant patterns, whatever you want to call them. So I think there was like a full brief, I don't know, like a mid brief, and then like a thong. So I have ordered the high-waisted brief pattern and the V-neck bra pattern and kits, the mesh power mesh kits for both of those. I think the power mesh gives it a little bit more structure, which I prefer. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. I think the only way I was ever going to get into making underwear was with a kit, because I think I just need to know all of these elements go together and are the right ones. And obviously once you've put one together, then you'll be more aware, like when I'm out and about, I'll know sort of what to buy and what will work and what won't work. But yeah, so that's going to be a project for maybe February, maybe March, we'll see. But I'd be interested to know if anyone else has sort of gone into that area, explored making bras specifically. Obviously, there are so many. I mean, it's the same with anything. You buy ready to wear and you just put up with the best fit you can get. But there are so many variations to get something to fit really well. It just seems like quite intimidating in terms of, am I going to be able to make the adjustments I need to make it fit perfectly and it be worth the effort and the money that I've put into making it. So yeah, we'll see. I will keep you updated. I will not be posting pictures of myself in underwear just because I just don't need to share that with the world, but I will share the underwear when it's made. So that's one of the things I've purchased. Also, I noticed on Instagram yesterday, so there was an announcement about from Closet Core about their starting a sort of subscription. Well, it's like a pattern club. So you sign up, you pay monthly or you pay for the year, and they release a new pattern every month, and it is exclusive to the subscribers. And I was really surprised at the response that got. I mean, I would say, so I'm currently subscribed to the Cashmere Club. I previously was also subscribed to the Charm Patterns to Gertie's Club. I didn't use any of, I like the look of some of the patterns, but I just was never making any of them. So I unsubscribed to that a while ago. I am considering unsubscribing from the Cashmere Club just because, so this top in the background is the only pattern I've actually made from my subscription. And I really like it, to be fair. I think it's a lovely pattern. I think it's called the Carlisle Tee. And I had a look through the catalogue because you can see them all the way through. And there are a few that I like. I don't know what it is about them that just means I'm not making them. Yeah, I don't know, but the latest pattern wasn't really for me. It was some Ponte sort of trousers. And initially I thought, oh, if they're sort of leggings, then they might be the sort of thing I could make in a fabric that's suitable for the gym. And then I was like, oh, it might have pockets and you can make them, you know. But it was released and they're sort of like boot cut, like flared, and they have these, it looked like they were supposed to be like comfy trousers, comfy formal trousers, but I just could not think of a scenario in which I could wear trousers like that. And yeah, I don't know, I just thought, oh, maybe I should just step back from that. So I'm going to have a think. I'm going to have a look through the patterns, download the ones, see how many I want to download from the past year or however long I've been subscribed. And I think sort of weigh up whether that's a route for me or not. So I understand that these companies are not for everybody. Not these companies, but these packages are not for everybody. And I also understand, so with Closet Core, they're saying their patterns are exclusive, so you will not be able to buy them separately from the plan. And also you, if you, so say their pattern this month was a very nice quilted coat. If I signed up next month, I wouldn't have access to the patterns they've already had. But they add flexibility by the fact you can sign up for 1 month and then just stop. So you don't have to commit for 6 months or a year unless you decide to buy the full package. So I could sign up for a month if I like the pattern and then cancel straight away after I got it. And then I could sign up again for another pattern I want. And as they've pointed out, it actually ends up being cheaper than buying an individual pattern. I think it's $8.50 or something a month. And their normal patterns are probably £15, something like that. So yeah, I understand that it's not for everybody, but I was quite surprised at how angry everybody was. I don't know if it maybe makes, I don't know if people feel like it just makes you feel like you have to, you don't want to get FOMO or whatever, maybe. But yeah, some of the comments underneath, I was like, I was not expecting that. I don't know, let me know what you think. You know, I've been honest with you before about how I feel about these things. subscription boxes, for example, the ones where you have no choice in what you're getting, are not for me, because more often than not, when I see, like, occasionally I'll see one and I'll think, oh, I really love that fabric, or I love that pattern choice, or whatever. But for the most part, I actually don't really like what's sent out. I like things that are quite colourful, and often they send things that are like, not always, but just, they're either very pastel-y, which I don't really wear pastels, although this is sort of pastel, isn't it? I don't really wear a lot of pastels, or they send things that are like a bit grown up, so a bit like browns and beiges and creams, grey, all things. I don't really wear any of those. So yeah, but I've do like the idea of having something to guide my sewing each week or each month. So that's why I've signed up for Little Miss So and So, and I'll give that a go. As I said, yeah, I sort of come in with no preconceptions. I enjoyed the process of selecting it, because I feel like the fact that you're limited to 2 patterns, it makes you sort of focus your mind, and it's making me look at certain skills. So, and I feel like I'm less likely to lose my sojo, because each month I'll have something, even if I'm not feeling inspired by anything else, I have something that I can sort of have a go at. And the fact that you can pick the fabric you want, I mean, what's not to like? So we'll see. But yeah, I sort of understand that these things aren't for everybody. And same as I said with the advent calendars, I actually had FOMO, but then when people opening them, I really wasn't that bothered. I like the last window of Fabric Godmother though. That Tatty Divine necklace I thought was lush. But yeah, I just was surprised at how angry everyone was, I suppose. I don't know. Let me know what you think anyway. I'm interested to see because there may be things that I'm just not considering or not thinking of. I don't think I'll be signing up to the Closet Core one. I've already got the quilted jacket from By Hand London, which the Narissa quilted jacket, which they sent me. I don't know if I'm a very quilted jacket person though. I think with the right fabric I might be, but it's not something that's at the top of my make list at the moment, basically. So yeah, so I don't think I'd sign up for that. But if they had a pattern that I really like the look of, then I would consider signing up for a month or a couple of months or whatever. Yeah, but there we are. Now the last thing I was going to talk about is what I'm doing with some of my remnants and some fabrics that I don't think I'm going to use. So obviously you can have a D-stash account, or previously I'd taken a load of stuff to one of the local colleges and stuff like that. But I actually saw on a local Facebook group that there is somewhere in Guildford, which is near to where I live, where they are running sewing classes for Ukrainian refugees. As a way, I think it's just a nice thing to do, and also it's sort of a social thing, and to help practice their English and all sorts of other things that might be helpful when you've been sent to you've ended up in a completely different country for unplanned reasons. So I saw that she had posted about this, and I messaged her about donating some fabric, and she said that'd be great. She said she'll come and collect it whenever I'm ready. So my plan is to go through. So I have some decent sized remnants where I think, am I likely to use that? Probably not. So some of those, but I also think that in my stash there are fabrics that I'm probably not going to get around to using. My stash is ridiculous. Like I forget even half the stuff's in there. So I have a plan possibly for this weekend. It might not be until next weekend, because this weekend is going to be a bit busy actually in the end. But I'm thinking of getting all of my stash out, sorting through it, working out anything that I can let go of, and then I'll give her a call. She'll come around, collect it all and take it, and then at least it's going somewhere where it's going to be used. When I donated it to the local college, I sort of contacted them about it, and they were like, yeah, and then I dropped stuff off, and then I didn't hear anything. I didn't even get like thanks or anything, which I just thought a bit like, it would be good to know, because for all I know, the stuff I'd left there could just been chucked in the bin. So it would have been nice just to have a thanks for leaving that. Whereas I feel like with this, I know it's going to be useful. Also, they apparently do lots of stuff for children, so I have a lot of remnants that are not big enough to make any adult things, and I just can't keep up with the children that I'm supposed to be sewing for. So yeah, I think there'll be things that are useful, like some jerseys and sweatshirting and boucle and things like that might be sort of nice to sew with. So yeah, it just might be worth, wherever you're living, if you're at a loose end, if you can't be bothered to do a D-stash sale, or if you just have lots of remnants and you just want to get them out of the way quickly, it's worth looking into seeing if there's anything like that locally. As I said, there are schools. Someone told me there are charity shops which will sometimes take fabric remnants in. But yeah, I just thought, oh, this is a good way to, and so I'll just give them whatever I don't think I'm going to use. I might let you know some of the things I'm going to let go, or equally I might not. I might just let you know if I find anything good when I go through my stash, because it's in a trunk in the next door room, and there will be stuff from sort of last spring or whatever that I've put away and not looked at for ages. So yeah, if anything good comes out, I'll let you know. Anyway, that's it for me this week. I'm not sure how much sewing is going to happen this weekend. I'm off to work this evening. I'm working most of the day tomorrow. So I've got some time tomorrow evening, and I've got some time on Sunday morning. And then I'm out on Sunday afternoon. So I'm not sure how much time exactly I'm going to have, but hopefully I'll have some stuff to tell you next week. Thanks as ever for joining in. I'll also say the last couple of things I keep forgetting to mention. I made a little video about my experience shopping in Brighton, so some of my recommendations for fabric shops. I bought a couple of bits and it was really interesting actually. I will start by saying my favourite shop was actually one that didn't come up when I searched on Google. So yeah, so tune into that once it's posted. I'm just finishing editing it now. And the other thing is I might have a bit of a rebrand, might change my name on here. So I've just been thinking about maybe having something that's a bit more simple. Super Bales was my Instagram name. But I'm thinking maybe it's not so important to have them linked, as in so obviously linked that they're similar names. So yes, there might be a little rebrand. Don't be alarmed. I'm not sure how quickly I'll get round to it though. So, but if you suddenly see my face with a different name, it's still the same thing. I've just picked a different name. All right, lovely. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.